Hello everyone, welcome to today's session. Today's session is regarding management of myocardial infarction. So before directly going into myocardial infarction management, let us see the cause of the myocardial infarction, that is acute coronary syndrome. Acute coronary syndrome, which occurs mainly due to decreased oxygen supply to the myocardium. It is graded based on the severity into three types. They are the unstable angina, non-ST segment elevated MI, and ST segment elevated MI. So what happens in each type? In unstable angina, the vascular obstruction is incomplete and the myocardial necrosis is absent. Whereas in non-ST segment elevated MI, the vascular obstruction is incomplete, but it is attenuated by relatively smaller areas of myocardial necrosis. And in the last type, that is the ST segment elevated MI, here the vascular obstruction is complete and the larger amount of myocardium is necrosed. So by comparing these three, we can say the most severe type is the ST segment elevated MI, and it is the most dangerous type. So what we have to note is the unstable angina and non-ST segment elevated MI on prolongation can lead to ST segment elevated MI. So the prior step is to control the progression of unstable angina and non-ST segment elevated MI. So how do we control these unstable angina and NSTEMI? It is by using of the proper drugs, that is the anti-anginal drugs, in order to prevent the progression of converting them into the dangerous ST segment elevated MI. So now let us see what is myocardial infarction. So myocardial infarction, it is an ischemic necrosis of portion of myocardium due to sudden occlusion of a branch of coronary artery. So what causes this myocardial infarction? It is usually an acute thrombus at the site of atherosclerotic obstruction. So as if you see in this diagram, you can see here the muscle is necrosed. So you can see there's a change in color. And if you observe the artery that supplies the blood to that part of the myocardium, it is blocked. So since this is blocked, there is decreased blood supply, and in the long go, it leads to ischemic necrosis and leads to myocardial infarction. So now let us see the management of MI. The thing is, about 1/4 of population suffering from MI die before the treatment is initiated. You know, like 25% of the population with MI die before the treatment is initiated, and so there is a large amount of deaths showing in the myocardial infarction cases. So following these steps, these 10 steps can make the people aware and can improve the condition so that they will not lead into death, and you and the correction of the biochemical parameters and other imbalances can lead to prolongation of their lifespan also. So proper treatment and proper management of MI can bring a very good result in a patient's case. So now let us see what steps are involved in management of MI people or MI case. The first thing is to relieve the pain, anxiety, and apprehension. Then the second one is oxygenation. The third one is maintenance of blood volume, tissue perfusion, and microcirculation. The fourth one is correction of acidosis. The fifth one is prevention and treatment of arrhythmias. The sixth one is pump failure, that is the heart failure. The seventh one is prevention of thrombus extension, embolism, and venous thrombosis. The eighth one is thrombolysis and repercussion. The ninth one is prevention of remodeling and subsequent congestive heart failure. And the 10th one is prevention of further attacks. Now let us see each step in management. So the first one is relieving of pain, anxiety, and apprehension. So before we have learned that if there is pain, the people are advised to take glyceryl trinitrate, that is the nitrates sublingually to get immediate relief from the pain. So if the pain is not relieved by 3 doses of glyceryl trinitrate, which are given 15-minute period, then we have to advise the patient to opt for an opioid analgesic or diazepam. So these two drugs are given when the glyceryl trinitrate, the nitrates are not relieving the pain after using of 3 doses, which are given 5 minutes apart in a time period of 15 minutes. So next step is oxygenation. It involves oxygen inhalation and assisted respiration if needed, because since the heart cannot pump the blood, so since there will be low amount of oxygen levels in the body, so any other respiration is advised. And the third one is maintenance of blood volume, tissue perfusion, and microcirculation. Yeah, here, since the heart is since a part of a heart is necrosed and the blood cannot be pumped, the fluid volume also will be reduced. So in order to maintain the normal blood volume or tissue perfusion, we have to infuse IV line of saline or low molecular weight dextran. And the fourth step is the correction of acidosis. Correction of acidosis. Acidosis which occurs in myocardial patients because when there is of death of tissue in a heart, there will be anaerobic metabolism occurring at the other part to provide the energy which is necessary. So when there is anaerobic metabolism, there will be development of acidosis. And so in order to correct that acidosis, we are giving IV sodium bicarbonates. And the fifth step is prevention and treatment of arrhythmias. Since the heart muscle is deprived of oxygen and other electrolytes, there will be dysfunction in the contraction and relaxation activities of the heart, which leads to arrhythmias. So, in order to treat and prevent arrhythmias, the, the drugs which are used are prophylactic IV infusion of beta blockers. These are used prophylactically, and tachyarrhythmias are treated with lidocaine, procainamide, or amiodarone, and bradycardia and heart block can be managed with atropine or electrical pacing. So these are the drugs which are used for the prevention and treatment of arrhythmias, because arrhythmias can lead to worsening of the condition, so we have to correct them in order to make the heart beat proper. So next thing is pump failure. Pump failure, it is a heart failure. Heart failure occurs in MI when there is more pressure and tearing of the papillary muscles in the septum, which leads to ultimate failure of heart. So without increasing more pressure on the heart and making it to work, the drugs which are used for this purpose are furosemide, vasodilators, and inotropic agents. So these drugs can prevent the pump failure, and so they can increase the cardiac output without increasing any workload on the heart. And the seventh step is prevention of thrombus extension, embolism, or venous thrombosis. The drugs which are used are aspirin, which is given for immediately for chewing or swallowing as soon as MI is suspected. So this is a very advised by the patient to take whenever he suspects, when there is discomfort or whenever he feels that the nitrates are not going to improve, not going to bring any improvement in his condition. And the other things are anticoagulants, which are used primarily to prevent a deep vein thrombosis and pulmonary or systemic arterial embolism. So these drugs, aspirin and anticoagulants, are used for the prevention of thrombus extension or embolism or venous thrombosis. And the eighth step is thrombolysis and reperfusion. The drugs which are used are fibrinolytic agents, which are used to achieve reperfusion of the infarcted area. So, since a thrombus occurs at the site of the infarcted area, so the drugs which are used are fibrinolytic agents. There are the streptokinase, which can cause reperfusion of the infarcted area. And the ninth step is prevention of remodeling and subsequent congestive heart failure. The drugs which are to the patient for prevention of subsequent congestive heart failures are ACE inhibitors and angiotensin receptor blockers, which are proven efficacy, which have the proven efficacy and afford long-term survival benefits. These drugs will have the long-term survival benefits, and they can prevent subsequent congestive heart failures. And coming to the 10th step, that is the final step, prevention of future attacks. It is mainly done by platelet inhibitors, beta blockers, and control of lipid profile. So hyperlipidemia, such as the LDL and VLDL cholesterols, are to be in the control. So the lipid profile should be in control for maintaining of for preventing the person from future attacks. So these are the 10 steps which are mainly used for the management of myocardial infarction. So when there is increase in ST segment, or when there is increase in the time period of this duration, it suggests that the person is suffering from myocardial infarction, and the management steps when followed by the person can bring a lot of improvement to his case. So these are the 10 steps which are used. Thank you.